people went to that creating change meeting and then were, extremely frightened. So ICE and other enforcement organizations definitely should have these intersectionality presentations, but at a different safe space, so that whoever is listening over there can completely listen and not have any fear while they're being. There's detention centers also need to be focusing on the LGBT and reproductive justice and that intersectionality with different cultures, different languages. And we talked about the invisible knapsack. When I was on a kickball team, I was on all-female, the first all-female kickball team out of this league, and it was surprising to me to see that the teams that were mainly gay people were, saying things that they didn't realize were discriminatory, or maybe they did, to people who are trans, and, people understanding that there, even within the queer community, there are levels of privilege, and, to notice that and try to acknowledge it. And acknowledging the history and leadership in our country and within the various cultural groups that are needing this help.
Okay. Am I loud enough? Yes. Okay. So we talked about a lot of things, but we kind of focused a lot on who has access to birth control in the first place and how we frame our conversations about it in society. Can you move back so I can see it? Okay. So we talked about deconstructing the shame that is often associated with people getting on birth control. So like this concept that young women who get on birth control are getting on it specifically to have sex with cis men, and that there aren't other reasons, which there are many for different situations. And also separating conversations about birth control and menstruation from gender identity, because there are lots of trans and non-binary people that are affected and need access to birth control. We talked about making products readily available for folks. So people who are low income have limited access to birth control or tampons and pads and things like that because they are really expensive. That also affects folks in the homeless community, which is disproportionately made up of trans and queer people. Yes. We talked about health concerns associated with tampons and pads, like what type of products people have access to. We also need to expand on conversations on why different people need access to birth control. So talking about why people might want to get on it because they have cramps or things like that, but also kind of separating this pressure on people to explain why they need access to that type of healthcare. We really need to emphasize education. I wrote a lot of notes. Yeah, we need education to be more trans-friendly and more available. And we talked about different solutions to some of the big problems that we see, such as like potentially providing more healthcare information in community centers and providing more spaces with free access to tampons and pads and things like that that people really need and don't otherwise have access to. Actually, I'll stop there.
Thanks everyone. Those were some really, really brilliant ideas. So thank you all for sharing and working in your groups so awesomely. So just to wrap up, this will leave you with some resources. So these RJ groups that I mentioned before, they are really, really badass, and they are doing so the work they're doing. So it's really intersectional, and it is centering folks who are queer and trans. And I would really encourage you to check all of these amazing groups out. If you want to write them down, take a picture of this slide. They're doing the work, and you can learn from them. And I would encourage you to, because they're all really, really awesome. So I'll leave this up here for a minute. I know we had an announcement. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for giving me an opportunity.
Yeah, no,
I just wanted to share with folks that this was a really interesting exercise, given the fact that I'm starting a project for trans, queer, butch, gender fluid, expansive, pregnant people who would like to learn about childbirth education and labor and comfort measures, poly folks as well, in a non-traditional setting. So I'm hoping to bring this class to a city near you. And if you'd like more information, I have this here. You can get a flyer. I'm certified by the International Childbirth Education certification and other things. But if you're interested or you want to talk about it or you know where I might be useful, I'm really excited about this work. So thanks. My name's Lucia.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. So with that, it's almost 5:45. So I again want to thank you all for coming. This was really awesome. Here's our contact information. If you want to email us, get in touch with us, that would be great. I would love to hear from you. That's me on the top, that's Jen on the bottom. And if you're in Raleigh or Durham, let us know. We can have coffee, chat about all this kind of stuff. We'd love to talk to you again. So just thank you all so much for coming.